Hey everyone, this is Cullah Hale from Destination Thrills, and yes, we are back with another coaster battle. I'm very excited for this. I know you guys have been DMing me and commenting on my videos that you want to see more battles, and yes, it is the coaster season, so you might see a little bit less of these. I feel like we haven't done one of these in quite a while, and actually it's because our last battle was back in, I think, May or April, where we did the North American Coaster Tournament. I'll actually link that video in the card above, just in case you want to see that one. But yeah, that was the last battle that we did. So I think it's time, we're well overdue to have another matchup. And this time I wanted to do something a little bit different. Since we celebrated the 4th of July last weekend, I figured why not have the two largest amusement park chains in North America, and especially in the United States, go head to head. And that would be Cedar Fair versus Six Flags. So how this battle worked is that we had parks from each chain go head to head in 1v1 battles. Now this channel has a bit more of a focus on the roller coasters and thrill rides versus the overall park experience. And trust me, if we did it over overall park experience, I'm pretty sure Cedar Fair would have a clean sweep. So I decided to have the voters decide on which park has the best coaster lineup. Make things a little bit more interesting. When I chose the matchups, I tried to choose parks that were around the same level and or in the same region. Obviously this isn't going to work perfectly, but I did try the best I could to make some interesting matchups and make them kind of close. Now each one of the matchups would be worth 2 points, with the park receiving the most votes winning that matchup. There will be a total of 11 head-to-head battles, so whoever reaches 12 points first will win. Now, it is worthy to note that there are more Six Flags parks than Cedar Fair parks, so parks like Six Flags Mexico, Orion, Great Escape, Frontier City will not be participating in this video. All of our duels were posted to my Instagram story on the 4th of July, and we had well over 500 votes cast in each matchup, which I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who participated. If you watch my battles from 2019, I was lucky enough to get 100 participants, so to get almost 600 now is unbelievable, and that is mainly because of you all sharing these battles with your friends and supporting my channel. So again, thank you so much. Now, if you didn't get a chance to participate in this battle, no worries, we will certainly have more on my channel in the future, especially during the off season, so be sure to follow Destination Thrills on Instagram to be able to vote in the next tournament or battle. Alright, I think it's time to lock in those lap bars and launch into these results. Alright, our first matchup is Michigan's Adventure versus Six Flags Darien Lake. This first one is not very even. Again, this is one of those just didn't happen to work out. But I wanted to choose Darien Lake because I think it should be in this battle over like a Frontier City or a La Ronde. La Ronde might have made sense since they're pretty close together, but I also feel like Darien Lake is pretty nearby Michigan's Adventure as well. I don't know, you guys can, sound off in the comments about this matchup, but clearly I think Darien Lake has a bit of an advantage because it has a hyper coaster. It has a brand new Gerstlauer as well, whereas Michigan's Adventure really hasn't gotten a new coaster in quite a while. They have an SLC, they have an okay coaster collection, but I pretty much expect Six Flags Darien Lake to really win this one out. And the votes are in, and Six Flags Darien Lake wins with 73% of the vote and puts Six Flags on the board. All right, let's get to our next matchup, which is Dorney Park versus Six Flags America. This one is kind of close in my opinion. I haven't been to either of these parks yet, but it's tough for me to choose. Six Flags America, I've heard, some negative things about the park from other YouTubers. But, they have a decent looking floorless conversion from B&M. They also have Superman Ride of Steel, which is a decent looking hypercoaster. I'm not sure what to make of it. Dorney Park I was supposed to visit this year, but obviously this virus canceled a lot of our plans. But I was looking forward to Steel Force and Hydra's Revenge and Talon. It just seems like there is a little bit more high quality coasters at Dorney Park versus Six Flags America. So personally, I would probably go with Dorney, and I think the fans are going to go with it as well. And the winner of this matchup is Dorney Park with 66% of the vote. And now Cedar Fair matches Six Flags with a 2-2 score. All right, moving on to the next battle we have. This one was so tough for me. Worlds of Fun versus Six Flags St. Louis, and honestly, I lied. It really wasn't that tough for me. Six Flags St. Louis, in my opinion, has a better coaster collection, hands down. It's got 3 amazing wooden coasters, and yes, I might be biased because this is my home park and I've been going forever, but the 3 wooden coasters are just so good in my opinion. Plus you have Mr. Freeze and a Batman clone, and I just think those 5 overall make it better than Worlds of Fun. Worlds of Fun has a pretty solid lineup with Mamba, Patriot, and Prowler, but I don't think those 3 are good enough to overcome what is at Six Flags St. Louis. So you guys can sound off in the comments below what you think of that matchup, but let's see what you chose. I think it's gonna be pretty close. And the winner is Six Flags St. Louis with 51% of the vote, so just a narrow margin of victory here, but Six Flags St. Louis puts Six Flags in the lead 4-2. All right, we have California's Great America versus Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, a battle in the Bay Area. California's Great America has an RMC Raptor, so that automatically gives it some points in my eyes. Plus, Gold Striker looks like a top-tier GCI, so I think California's Great America probably will have the better lineup, though Joker looks pretty solid as well over at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. They also have Medusa, the floorless coaster as well, but let's see what the voters decided. And the winner of this matchup is California's Great America with 77% of the vote. So a pretty big margin of victory here for California's Great America. And we are once again tied 4 apiece. So this is already looking to be a close matchup. Okay, we have our next battle, which is Knott's Berry Farm versus Fiesta, Texas. This one is a tough one because Knott's Berry Farm has Accelerator, Hang Time. It also has Ghost Rider. Those 3 coasters I'm really looking forward to. I've never been to Knott's Berry Farm before, and I haven't been to Six Flags Fiesta Texas either. They look to have 2 really good RMCs. Plus they have what many say is the best floorless coaster. So a very interesting lineup at Fiesta Texas as well. I really don't know which one I will like better, and it's really hard for me to choose. So let's see what you guys chose. And the winner is, wow, we have 50% of the vote went to Knott's Berry Farm and 50% of the vote went to Fiesta Texas. So this came down to individual votes. 277 votes for Knott's Berry Farm and 279 votes for Fiesta Texas. So Fiesta Texas won by 2 votes. So I'm telling you, every vote mattered in this matchup. So that's why you go, even if you think it's a wipeout, you go ahead and vote, because 2 votes separated Six Flags Fiesta Texas from beating Knott's Berry Farm. And Six Flags now has the lead 6-4 moving on to our next matchup. Okay, we have Valley Fair versus Six Flags over Texas. I know they're not very close to each other region-wise, but I feel like they're pretty similar in lineups. I don't know. That was just my thinking with this matchup. Valley Fair has an amazing wooden coaster from what I've heard in Renegade. It's one of my bucket list GCIs for sure. I actually want to ride Renegade more than I do Gold Striker. Renegade just looks like a terrific, aggressive machine, and I've just heard nothing but rave reviews on it from everyone who's ridden it. But outside of Renegade, there really isn't a coaster at Valley Fair that really is intriguing me or wanting me to go and attend the park. Whereas Six Flags over Texas, they're about to put in Aquaman. They also have Mr. Freeze, Batman, New Texas Giant. They have several good coasters at this park. So I think Six Flags over Texas is going to win this one. So let's see who won. All right, our winner of this matchup is Six Flags over Texas with 84% of the vote, a big victory. And now Six Flags is up 8-4 and starting to pull away here, something I did not think I would see in this battle. All right, let's move on to our next one. We're getting to the bigger parks now. We have King's Dominion versus Six Flags New England. Now, King's Dominion has some blockbuster coasters even after the removal of Volcano. They have Intimidator 305 and Twisted Timbers, a very good top 2 lineup. I think Intimidator 305 and Twisted Timbers alone make this a good lineup, but there's also a decent supporting cast in there as well. Six Flags New England, kind of the same thing. They have an Intamin Hyper in Superman the Ride, which was raved about back in the 2000s. And they also have Wicked Cyclone, that RMC conversion. Many consider that to be an underrated RMC. So kind of similar to King's Dominion in that sense. There's also a decent supporting cast, though I wouldn't say it's quite at the level of King's Dominion, and that's why I think King's Dominion has the edge in this battle. All right, let's see who you voted to win, and it's King's Dominion with 76% of the vote, and Cedar Fair starts to catch back up with Six Flags here, with Six Flags leading 8-6. Okay, this is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be Kings Island versus Six Flags Great America. Now, before Orion, I would have told you that Great America actually has the better lineup. I know Kings Island fans are gonna be like shocked that I'm saying this, but I've been to both parks, and before Orion, after Max Force, in my mind, Great America had the better lineup. But Orion has completely changed things, and I think Orion, being a B&M Giga Coaster, puts Kings Island once again ahead of Six Flags Great America. So personally, even though I haven't ridden Orion yet, just looking at it on paper, I would say Kings Island has the better coaster lineup. Let's see if you guys agree, and you do. 75% of the vote is going to Kings Island. So, I don't know, Great America, put in a Giga, and you guys would once again be champions. I totally would be down for that. Okay, so we're tied again. Cedar Fair, Six Flags, all tied up at 8 apiece. All right, we're moving into another interesting matchup. We have Six Flags Great Adventure versus Canada's Wonderland. Canada's Wonderland has a lot of coasters, but they don't have a lot of quality coasters. They have Yukon Striker, Behemoth, and Leviathan, but outside of that, it's kind of a, decent lineup. Whereas Six Flags Great Adventure, I mean, you have King Ka, you have El Toro, you have Nitro. That's already an amazing top 3. But then you also have Bizarro, which I really loved. You have a Joker 40 free spin, which some hate it, but I actually love it. You have a Batman ride. You have Green Lantern, that stand-up coaster, which is actually really fun as well. So there's just so many good coasters at this park. And then you're opening Jersey Devil in 2021. So I think Great Adventure has the best lineup this year, even without Jersey Devil Coaster, and it will for sure have it next year over Canada's Wonderland once Jersey Devil Coaster opens up. So this one I think is pretty clear that Six Flags Great Adventure is better, but let's see what you guys voted. All right, and the winner, and to take the lead, is Six Flags Great Adventure with 68% of the vote, and now gives Six Flags the lead 10-8. Six Flags just needs one more victory to secure this duel. All right, let's move on to the next matchup, and I almost forgot about it. It was Carowinds versus Six Flags Over Georgia. Six Flags Over Georgia, yes, it has a good hyper coaster in Goliath, and it's got a pretty good supporting cast around it as well. Twisted Cyclone is pretty good from what I've heard. Haven't been there. You also have Daredevil Dive, and you have Great American Scream Machine, which I really love those wooden coasters. But Carowinds, I mean, you have Fury 325. That alone almost makes it a better lineup. But then you have Afterburn, you have Intimidator, and then you also have Copperhead Strike, and a plethora of other coasters as well. So I think in this matchup, Carowinds definitely has the advantage. Can Cedar Fair tie it up, or will Six Flags win this duel in this matchup? Let's see. Our winner between Carowinds and Six Flags Over Georgia is Carowinds with 85% of the vote, a big victory, and now we are tied, headed to the final matchup. And of course, you know what the final matchup is going to be. The two headlining parks going head to head, constantly battling each other for who has the best and who has the most coasters. We have Cedar Point versus Six Flags Magic Mountain. And man, I can't wait to hear in the comments all these Magic Mountain fans and Cedar Point fanboys going at it, because this ought to be interesting. I haven't been to Magic Mountain yet, but I have been to Cedar Point, and let me just tell you, it was life-changing. I'm not a Cedar Point fanboy. I don't just blindly think everything at Cedar Point is good, but just from experiencing it myself, the coaster lineup is beyond supreme. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced at any of the parks that I've been to. It looks like it's gonna be my favorite of all time for a long time, until some other park can just start building crazy amounts of coasters. Energylandia. But until then, I think Cedar Point is just gonna have the best coaster collection. Now, Magic Mountain has a lot of coasters, and they have a lot of solid coasters as well, but I don't think you can beat the combination of Maverick, Steel Vengeance, Millennium Force, Top Thrill Dragster, and don't laugh at this one, but Magnum XL 200. Those 5 coasters are clearly in my top 25, and they are so good that I just think it's gonna be hard for another park, even Magic Mountain, to overcome. I know it sounds like a lot of bias in there. I know you Magic Mountain fanboys are probably like, no, it's Magic Mountain. But let's see. I mean, did you guys make your voice heard, Magic Mountain? That is a question. Did you guys get in there and vote? So our winner of Cedar Point versus Magic Mountain, and the winner of Cedar Fair versus Six Flags, is Congratulations to Cedar Fair as Cedar Point takes down Magic Mountain 82% to 18, while Cedar Fair just barely beats Six Flags in a battle of who has the best coaster lineup. So this was a tight race, a lot tighter than I expected, even though the matchups seemed to be more even and kind of created a level playing field. I still think overall Cedar Fair has some solid parks with some solid coaster collections. So let me know what you guys think of these results and this battle. Do you like the way it was set up? What do you think we should change in the future? I would kind of like to make this an annual duel for the 4th of July. I just think it would be a fun thing to do every year, to have these two giant theme park chains going head to head. So I really want to hear what you think. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. And if you enjoy these coaster battles, I'm going to leave a bunch of them in the description below, as well as a random one in the card above. And also, don't forget to subscribe to Destination Thrills, as we are the destination for all the latest theme park news, duels, and content. Congratulations to Cedar Fair for winning our 4th of July Cedar Fair versus Six Flags matchup. Thank you all for watching, and thank you so much for voting. Don't forget to head over to our Instagram page and give it a like so you can participate in the next battle. I'm Hale from Destination Thrills. Stay safe and have a good one.